Hello, this is Jan from Red Toad Art Studio, and the title of our video today is Get a Grip. How to hold your pencil or the power of 3. So let's begin. I'm going to ask you a question. Can you hold a pencil wrong? Well, that may be a matter of opinion. Let's not say there are wrong ways, but there are okay ways, good ways, better ways, and the best way. So let's take a look at some of these different ways we hold our pencil. Okay. If you look at toddlers, when they first start trying to draw or color, and they'll grab onto their pencil like this. It's like they're not going to let go of that thing. I mean, it cannot fly off into space, because I watch TV and I see things flying into space. This pencil staying right here with me, and I'm going to hold on tightly. Usually we don't stay with this grip very long because we find out it doesn't work very well. When you get to kindergarten and you have to start making letters, probably your teacher's going to tell you this isn't going to work. But it does work. Look, I'm writing my name and you can read it. It works. But you know what? My wrist is already getting tired holding it that way. And also remember, back when you were a toddler, you had itty-bitty hands. And I know when I went to school, they also gave you a big fat pencil. There wasn't very many easy ways to hold it if you had little short fingers and you had a big fat pencil. But there are ways to hold it that's more comfortable than this. I call this the clench method. So let's see what the semi-clench method is before we just grabbed it with all of our fingers. So the semi-clench, we grab it with one finger. See that? One finger's around it. We wrap our thumb around that finger, and then we kind of grab it with the rest of our fingers. It's like this. There's a little more control. I don't think I can probably write as well with this one, though, as I did with my kindergarten grip. There's not much control of your pencil. You notice I can't really, I can make it move maybe that much, but I usually have to just use my whole arm to write with it. So it's really not the best one either. And ironically, I see a lot of people, maybe they do something like this. Now there is more control with this because I can move it with these fingers. So what would we call that? A semi-clench? Now I do have a lot more control, and I see a lot of people using this. And I do think that we have changed our way of holding our pencils and pens because they don't teach handwriting the same way in school anymore. When my mother went to school, they had whole classes in handwriting. And if you've ever seen some of the vintage handwriting, it was beautiful handwriting. Perfect. And they had to work and work and work on learning how to do that. Well, my mom taught me much the same lesson. And that is something we call the tripod method, and which I consider one of the very best methods you could use because you have a lot more control of your pen or your pencil. So let me show you the tripod method. Can you put, let's see if we can do this here so you can see it, your thumb and forefinger tips together. You see that? Well, that is the first step in getting the right grip on your pencil, believe it or not. So put your forefinger and thumb together. Place your pencil between your thumb and your forefinger, just like that. You see how I've got it? In fact, I have a lot of movement in my pencil now without having to move my whole hand, but it wants to kind of fall out. So bring this next finger down and let your pencil rest on it. Can you see that? I'll twist my hand around as much as I can. My pencil's resting on this finger. It's between this finger and my thumb. Now I have a lot of control of my pencil, and I'm not having to move my whole arm to do it. A lot of control. But you know what seems to be getting in the road a little bit are these other two fingers. So just bring them up to meet your others. You can lightly touch your paper with this side of your hand. And now you can relax. You don't have to grip this as hard. More control, or more comfortable. More comfort. See how this is now? I have all of this movement, even without moving my whole arm. Look at the movement I have this way. The tripod method, which I think is one of the very best ways you can hold your pens, pencils, crayons, maybe even sometimes with your paintbrush. Now let's see, let's draw a circle here. Now I can draw a circle without moving my arm, a small circle. That's about as big as I can get it right there. If I want to draw bigger circles, I'm going to draw from my elbow. I still have the tripod method here, but now my elbow is going to move. Now you can't see my elbow. But see, I could draw a bigger circle so much more comfortable. My whole arm is moving, just like this. Oh, I shouldn't say my whole arm. My elbow is moving the bottom part of my arm along with my hand. My hand doesn't have to do anything. I just move my elbow. Now, if you were painting a great big picture, one to hang on your wall and fill the whole wall, or you were doing murals, say, on the side of a building or in a room where you wanted to do a huge circle, you would do this from your shoulder. And you could make huge circles. See, I don't even have room to do a circle like that on here. Well, with the art lessons we're doing, you won't need to worry about that. But it would be a great idea if you did learn how to do from the wrist with the tripod method, and then from your elbow. Not just circles, but everything you do. Let's do some lines here. From my wrist, well, I shouldn't say that. If you do it from your wrist, you'll draw little short lines. And sometimes we need to do that to kind of control where we're going. From your elbow, looks like this. It's actually easier to draw an even straight line, which I didn't do too well there, but from your elbow. Okay, I hope that helped you some. And we're going to do a little more about lines in some of our next videos. But practice the tripod grip. Well, I hope you enjoy learning how to do this and that it will make your art easier and won't hurt your hand. If you're too stiff all the time, your hands and wrists are going to pay for it with pain eventually. You might not for a few years even, but when you get to be my age, you'll know it. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and we will see you again in our next video. So bye-bye for now.